It's the prehistoric ages. Early man proudly walks, dragging his knuckles and puffing his chest. He grunts the first syllable, the beginning of language. And after mastering the spoken word, the first sentence that tumbles out of his prehistoric mouth is, "You'll never guess what happened to me last night." A story. What is it about stories, and why do we keep telling them? Ever since we were intelligent enough to form thoughts and to share them, we've told stories. I wanted to explore that a little bit. So I kind of want to take advantage of how deeply ingrained, stories, symbolism, and certain imagery are to discuss shadow work. So we're going to be looking at tales of fantasy and whimsy, stories of gods and demons, cabbages and kings. And ultimately, we're going to see how that applies to our own life, to our healing journey, our psyche. Let's start with our first myth. Hustlin heroes, Hercules and Atlas. So listen, 90% of Greek mythology is just Hera messing with Zeus's many bastards. This story's bastard is Hercules. Now, Hera hates Hercules solely due to the fact that he's a reminder of her husband's infidelities. And being the petty Betty that she is, she's hell-bent on making this kid as miserable as possible. She's like, I gotta get rid of this kid. I'm gonna murder this kid. So she tries to murder him in his crib, just like the movie. But it doesn't really work out. He survives. And she's like, okay, insanity then. So she turns him crazy. And when he's older. And while he's under this spell, he murders his wife and his kids. So when he comes to, he feels real shitty about it. He's like, I can't believe this. I have to be punished. So he goes to Uncle Apollo and he's like, please, I have to take responsibility. You gotta help me. And Apollo's like, you sure? I mean, it's ancient Greece. You could I won't tell anybody, But he's like, just please. So he gives him these annoying errands to run, the 12 labors of Hercules, and that is kind of his penance, his punishment. So off we go on this very long and mystical series of fetch quests. So one of these annoying errands is getting golden apples from Hesperides. Hesperides? That. Sounds easy enough. Trick is, they are guarded by Atlas's daughters and a 10-headed dragon. Hercules is like, you know what? I'll deal with that later. On the way, he comes across Prometheus. Now, Prometheus is a titan who was punished by Zeus. He's chained to this mountain, and there's an eagle eating his liver forever. That's just his life now. Sucks to suck. So Hercules helps him out. Hercules frees him, and Prometheus, as a gesture of goodwill, is like, here's a tip. You can get Atlas to call off his daughters for your quest. So he goes to Atlas and is like, I need you to tell your daughters to just back off for a sec. And Atlas is like, sure. Could you just hold this for a sec? So he gives Hercules the earth and runs off to get the apples from his daughters. Now Atlas is another titan who's punished by Zeus. And he's tasked with carrying the earth. Like he's carrying the world on his shoulders forever. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Zeus is a bit of a dick. Because his punishments are always the worst, but we'll get into that at another time. This is some chaotic storytelling. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so they do the switch. Hercules is carrying the globe. Atlas gets the apples and comes back. Cool. Now Hercules is like, okay, now let's switch back. Take this earth back. And Atlas is like, well, maybe I don't want it back. I'll just take these apples to Apollo and it will be even Stevens, Now, Mama didn't raise no fool, so Hercules plays the player. He's like, okay, sure thing. Could you just take the world back while I tie my sandals real quick? And then he just jets off with the apples. He legs it. So what does this story tell us? First of all, never ever tell Hera who your birth father is. Just don't. And second, on our healing journey or spiritual journey, nobody can do the work for us. We can get help along the way, which is what Hercules did. His entire 12 labors is a constant barrage of people intervening, helping, giving him the answers and insights. And that is what we have. We have that readily available to us. We will constantly be guided towards things that are going to help us and take us where we need to go. But we still have to go that journey ourselves. So Atlas wanted to just kind of dump his baggage, okay, whether we're talking karma, we're talking about wounding, onto someone else. But it just cannot be done. You've got to walk the walk yourself.